Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Ask the Experts. I am your host for today, Candy Martin, and it is an honor and a privilege to be before you guys. I get super excited about this webcast. And so we're here with the AK Legacy Foundation. You can visit our website at www.aklegacyfoundation.org. And what we do here, we promote financial literacy and business development. But oftentimes we forget that business owners are people. And so a lot of times I love to bring people on that can tell us about the person, the business owner as a human being. Because as business owners, entrepreneurs, we tend to put on that super cape and we're superheroes and we're just doing this, doing that. And oftentimes we forget to relax, detox from the day, and take care of ourselves. And so to start the new year off, I thought it was fitting. Last week we talked about planning and time management and all those good things, but none of that is going to be any good if we are not mentally prepared and restored and healed and whole. And so I brought on Miss Cassandra James Weathersby. She is the founder of Black Women Do Heal. And so I want to put this disclaimer out there. Guys, don't go anywhere. And we want all of our brothers and sisters of all races to tune in and to learn from us as we learn from you. This show is not exclusive to just Black women, but today we're going to just talk about some things that affect us as well. And so stick around. We're going to have a great show. Miss Cassandra, she has been so kind and so gracious to take time out of her schedule because Black Women Do Heal. They're doing a lot of community things. And so she's extremely busy. And I believe she's in school, and I'm like, how are you doing all of that? And so we're going to talk to her and she's going to give us some business tips on how to juggle it all because I know she got a secret recipe. Somebody has it, and I think she got it. So we're going to get it out of her today. And so you have time to like, share. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribing to our YouTube channel help us here at the AK Legacy Foundation. It helps us with our advertisement endeavor. We are a nonprofit registered 501c3 organization. And so we truly, truly appreciate all donations. And that's not always monetary donation of time, and to donate to time, share and like our YouTube channel. But we do like monetary donations as well. And you can learn more about our foundation at aklegacyfoundation.org. All righty. So I am going to, I always tell everybody, I have to do a few housekeeping things. Um, since the pandemic, I am now an expert in media and television. Hey, I didn't even have to go to school for it. All I did was got thrown into the pandemic, and now I am a certified media person.
Yes.
So, Miss Cassandra, welcome, welcome. We are so glad to have you. How are you doing today?
I am blessed and highly favored. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me, Candy.
Yeah, so we're not going to prolong the time. We're going to get right on to it. We thank all of our viewers for tuning in. A lot of times, this is people's lunch break hour. They're sneaking off. I heard one lady tell me she said I conveniently have to go to the restroom at 11. So if you're
I love
out
it.
there, we appreciate you. And so we're going to start our conversation with Cassandra. We're going to just be a relaxed setting. This is one of our informal but professional meetings. So we're going to dive right in. So first thing I want to ask Cassandra, what does BWDH, better known as Black Women Do Heal, what is you guys' primary goal, your focus? Tell me all about it and how it came about.
With Black Women Do Heal, or BWDH, as you say, our primary focus is empowering and encouraging women. It is to help women to realize their full potential by highlighting stories of healing and opening those doors to meaningful conversation about those topics that, mean something to us, where we have not traditionally healed as well or as maybe as some of our counterparts. So that is, primarily what we do. And how it came about, just I knew I was supposed to be doing something with women. Really wasn't sure what direction it was going in, and the whole thing about the strong Black woman it's just said over and over and over again. And it started to seem to me almost like toxic masculinity is for guys. That's how it started to seem to me, that notation that we bear all and we're so stoic and we just, bear down and take it, and we push through. But all the while, we're oftentimes suffering. And then we perpetuate that trauma to other women. We teach it, we pass it on. And so it's like, the cycle has got to stop, because we can't really heal unless we start opening those doors to conversation. And it's so much between being a woman, being Black, being in America,
Yes, yes.
workplace or what have you, you name it, is so many avenues that we need to heal in. And so here we are.
Right, right, and it's so interesting because when you were talking, I was like, "Oh, I was gonna ask that question. Oh, I was gonna ask that question." You was like hitting a lot of the points of some of the things that I wanted to talk about, and so one of the very first things you said is that we get labeled as this strong Black woman, and and so it's like it's almost as if it was put on our shoulders, and we're like, "Okay, I got to live up to the expectation." I had a
Mhm.
conversation with a lady yesterday, and she, lost her husband due to COVID, and it hasn't even been a year yet, and she's doing this for everybody else, and she's doing this, and so yesterday when I was talking to her, I said, "You sound a little frustrated," and she just, she said, "You know what?" He said, I'm just, it's really reality is setting in. I said, yes, because you've been doing everything for everybody else. You haven't even had time to mourn,
Mhm.
and it's an assumption that, oh, she'll be okay. Oh,
That's right.
she'll push through. Um,
Yes.
she's leaning on the Lord. You know,
Yes.
they give us all that. So we're gonna talk today. We're gonna have an open dialogue about um, just having some good conversation about how to be okay. To say, you know what,
Mhm.
no, I'm not okay. I want
Mhm.
to, I need to heal. I need somebody to talk to. And
Mhm.
that's what we're gonna talk about that, Cassandra. That's like a real biggie. Talking about mental illness in the Black community is like,
Oh yes.
no, none of that. So we're gonna
Mhm.
get into everything, and so let's get started. Let's get
Okay.
started. All right. So one of my first questions is holistic and mental mental health and holistic health. Can you explain to our listening audience, primarily made up of business owners, but we get people from all races and gender and just nationalities and business backgrounds. So some of us may not quite understand because when I think of holistic, well, before I was awakened, but I used to think of holistic as someone sitting on a beach with some potpourri or something, smoke, and they were just relaxing. But that's not what holistic is. And
No.
and when we think about mental, we think about people in straitjackets. And
Exactly.
so perception is just all off. So
Mhm.
kind of explain to us a little bit about the differences according to what you have found.
Yes. So with mental illness, there's this big stigma in mental illness across the board, no matter what color you are, but even more so in communities of color. We are less likely to go get help. We are more likely to depend on the Lord, and not to take medication, not to get counseling. And even if we are, oftentimes we're also more likely not to let our circles know that we are getting help or that we need help. It becomes that hush hush thing that nobody ever, really, really talks about. And holistic is not just the chanting and the incense.
Right.
Holistic means it's kind of like the word sounds. It's talking about our whole selves. So you can't just heal if you have mental illness or you love people that have mental illness. It can't just be a healing of their actual symptoms, right? It doesn't work that way. It's their mind, body, soul, spirit. It's all connected. So when you look at healing from a holistic way, you're looking at it from each of those aspects. Additionally, you also look at it from relationships. You know, we look at it from finances, because you can't heal alone. You know, that while we love to sing the song all by myself, The reality is we are social creatures. We were created that way. And so healing just does not happen, um, all by ourselves, financially, because you can be in a good place spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. But if you don't have money to eat, that is going to affect your healing in some way, right? So we look at it from every avenue in your life, so that you can have a more holistic healing. You can have a healing experience that, spans every area of your life. So that's it. But yes, the stigma of mental illness in the Black community is really bad. You're right. People do think of straitjackets. They think of people, they're afraid of mental illness, especially with representation in the media. Oftentimes, you don't hear about the good things that people with mental illness, do. But let somebody pop off and go shoot up a building somewhere.
Right.
All of a sudden, oh well, it's said that they had mental, illness, or that they were unstable. And my question is, okay, so where was the help for that individual before we got to this point? Because there were signs.
Right. Right.
Where was the help? So having those conversations here, you know, it helps to break those stigmas against mental illness and people getting healing, especially in our churches, that you don't have to take medication. Sometimes that is preached or taught or implied, that you don't really need worldly counsel. And as a person in recovery myself, I found it very interesting that we celebrate people that get degrees in counseling and social work and psychiatry. However, we demonize the people that actually need the help.
Right, right. Oh, she's a psychiatrist. Oh, she's Dr. So and so. And
Mm-hmm.
but the minute we, the minute we
Mm-hmm.
need to tell somebody, to the wonderful psychiatrist, the social worker, the
Exactly.
counselor,
Mm-hmm.
um, the person that's going, oh, she's awful. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, okay, so why are we even need psychiatrists? Why we even need counselors? Why
Mm-hmm.
do we even need ministers if everybody is,
Exactly.
is everybody is well? The church is really symbolic to a hospital, and I think
It
a lot
is.
of times people forget that
Mm-hmm.
we come to the hospital because we're have some sort of reason to draw us there, and so
Mm-hmm.
when we get there, we want help. But a lot of times when we go for the help, it's like, why are you here? So
Yes. Yes.
I'm like, I saw the sign out said help. I was coming,
Yes.
I was coming to get some help, and so
Yes.
I think having these conversations is really good. So I'm going to pivot a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and this brings me back to a conversation that you and I had.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I read something, I saw something somewhere, and I got mad, and I remember I text you, and it
Yes.
was an article I think that stated that this is 2020, in the year of 2020. So this is not
Mm-hmm.
1918, but this is in the year 2020. They did
Yes.
a survey with nursing students and those that are going to be doctors that are in residence and all those,
Mm-hmm.
and even some actual doctors. They asked
Mm-hmm.
them a survey, and they asked them, do they believe if Black women, if we can handle more pain than our white counterparts?
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, they felt like that's why some of us we don't get medication or we don't get the proper pain treatment
Mm-hmm.
because they feel as if in the survey that
Yeah.
we do not experience pain the same. And so
Mm-hmm.
that was a bit of a frustration for me because I was like, let me see if what year they talking about. And I could not believe that they were talking about this year. So I was like,
Yes. Yes.
2020, I was like, no way. So
Mm-hmm.
what are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts on it is that that is a real thing. It is, I mean, there have been people even going before Congress who have lost loved ones because their loved one, their women were in the hospital, some of them postpartum, after having babies. And because the staff did not take it seriously, and really attend to them, it was too late and they lost their lives. We see that perpetuate other illnesses that we have in our community as well, especially even mental illness, right? Because our pain, our symptoms, they aren't taken as seriously. It's like, oh, you'll be okay, you know. And the reality of it is, we feel pain. We are human. What
Yeah.
has happened though is, you know, we have to just own this all the way back from many years ago. You know, we weren't in our culture. Think about the things that you heard coming up, you know, as a woman,
Right.
right? As a being raised to be a young Black woman. Um, you know, we don't do that. You know,
Right.
getting ready to have a baby, and you would hear the white women on the hall screaming and hollering in labor pains, right?
Right.
We don't do that.
Right. Don't you go in there acting a fool.
Don't you go in there acting no fool. Okay. You know, if you can be in other kind of pains, you are it is ingrained in you with either direct messages or those subtle things that you see around you, that we do not express pain that way. And so it appears that yes, we can hold pain better, that we are taking it better. In all actuality, we are hurting. If you have had a
Yeah.
baby, you are hurting. Now,
Yeah.
you might have, because of what was taught in you, held on to the rails and just, but in
Right.
all actuality, inside you were screaming,
Amen.
just like the white woman down the hall, but you weren't allowed to express that because of our culture, right? And for our Black women that did express that, we would call them weak. You
Yes.
know, we would pick on them. We would say, that's,
Yeah.
you just doing too much.
Yeah.
We're not given that opportunity, you know, to express ourselves in that way. So I think it's double-sided. We've learned to perpetuate that that stigma, that we don't accept pain the same way, that we don't handle it the same way. But it was
Right.
also put on us, because if you think, if back in slavery times, were you going to really holler?
Right.
Were you allowed to do those things?
No, we were
You know,
not.
no, your mom, you know, or the person in charge telling you to be quiet was to save your life, you know,
Right.
or was to keep all of us from getting in trouble, right? So you
Right.
had to hush it up, you know. So we have to look at it from all those angles. And now here we are in 2021,
Yes.
and this is still a thing, that actual medical professionals who are experts in understanding the human body, the nerves, the muscles,
Right.
all
Right.
parts of the body, the brain, actually believe in their real life that we don't experience pain the same way.
Right. And so I think, having these conversations, especially now, even though we're not in AK Legacy Foundation, we don't promote politics, but we
Mhm.
do promote civil rights.
Yes.
And so there's a difference in that. And
Yes.
so in the way that everything is now, I think now is the time to have conversations about
Mhm.
every area of everybody's life. Um,
Exactly.
and just like we're taught certain things, like you said, our sisters of other races are taught certain things. I had a chance to speak to a Hispanic. I worked with a Hispanic lady. I said we had a ball because I would just be asking her questions and she'd be asking me questions, and we were just trying to learn, soak it up, because we truly wanted to get an understanding. And she said, I'm so glad that I can talk to you because I've got so many questions. And I was like, well, good. I got some questions for you too. I was like, do y'all eat tacos on Tuesday? She said, girl, I don't know where they get Taco Tuesday from. So, so we learned, and so she was able to ask us, she said, well, we would ask her the little things just to get the conversation started. And so
Mhm.
do you find it that are we hard to have the conversation with, or are people afraid to approach us? Which is it?
I think the hard to have a conversation with depends on the person, you know, because we can come across as very passionate, and
Mhm.
that passionate, because of stigma against us, can seem like anger. And
Yes.
it's not, it's just passion. It's just, I really care about this subject, and this is how it comes across. Sorry. You know.
Ooh,
Um,
ooh. I have to interrupt you right there. I wish I had a rewind button. I'm looking for the little guy to come out the bushes and say, "You've been punked." I can't believe you just said that. I've had this exact same conversation just a couple of days ago. I said, and I was telling someone, I said, they misunderstood my concern and my disbelief as aggressive anger. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't angry at the person. I was angry about the situation, but not
Mm-hmm.
at the person because it wasn't the person, it wasn't in the person's control. But I get so worked up because I just want to save everybody. I want to help everybody, and I want everybody to get along. I want to be kumbaya. I want that's me. So when
Yeah.
it doesn't happen that way, the disappointment sometimes can be overwhelming and
Mm-hmm.
passionate. So is there a way, did we learn or should we, me, I'm talking about me, how do we, should we channel that energy? In other words, are we supposed to change the passion so that we don't come across aggressive and learn a better way to communicate? Or is it that the other person needs to learn communication and, what is that about? Who's supposed to change?
Well, I'd say it like this, and I don't, this it might not be the best example, but this is the one that came to mind.
Okay.
If your grandbaby, is trying to express something to you, but in her own way and language, she isn't able to fully express it to you yet, right? But you
Right.
see that it's something that's important to her or what have you. Are you going to force her to change her way of communicating, or are you going to figure out how you can communicate? Because in this situation, you are the person with the most power,
Right.
you
Right.
know? In that same way, while of course there's decorum, of course, you want to be respectful, you know, at the
Right.
same way, we have as a community, in this country, over and over again expressed frustrations, expressed things, right? So
Mhm.
having those conversations, it's like the knowledge and stuff is out there, right? We can have those conversations, but you can't just expect me to tone down who I am for your comfort. And that's part of the problem, you
Yes.
know.
Yes.
So I've been really blessed that I have a very close friend who is Caucasian, but she and I have had these difficult conversations. You know, we had to have those where she had to really understand my passion and what was going on,
Right.
and not that it was anything against white people, because I love all people. I was raised around
Right.
white
Right.
people, and I know that sounds cliche, but you know,
Right. Well,
that's not a thing. I
I
don't
can't be
care.
mad at him either. My great grandmother was white. I mean, what I'm gonna do?
Yeah, yeah. My foster
Like,
parents were
not
white,
like her. Like, just hey,
Yeah,
I
so
don't need you.
so right. But to have that conversation and to take time to listen and understand, that is what is needed on both sides. I needed to understand that she is not understanding as a up and coming middle classer, you know, white person. Why and how in the world do I have privilege? I've had a hard life. I've lived in poverty. These things have happened to me. I've been abused. All these things that have happened to me, our stories are similar. How do I have white privilege?
Correct.
And how does I don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense to me. And what we had to, I had to tell her, and this is where the listening came in at, that you have to
Mhm.
take time and get out of your story to understand mine sometimes, and vice versa. So
Right.
I understand and empathize with you as a woman, with you as just a person going through the ranks of poverty, that these things happen to you and they were awful. Okay. They have some of these things happen to me too, and others that we know. But the reality of it is that your health care is not at risk because
Right.
somebody looks at your skin and thinks that, oh, you're not in that much pain, we're not going to take you seriously. you know you don't have that angst when your loved one is stopped by the police. you
Right.
know just the other day, my son-in-law was stopped by the police. My daughter was on the phone with him, and I was literally messaging her until he was let go. You don't have those feelings when it comes
Right.
up, whether you or your children, get stopped by the police. Those things don't boil up in you, because that's not a fear that you have, that you might not come home, you
Right.
know? So understand that when it comes to that privilege, that's all it's saying is that you get to live. We've experienced that, again, not being political, but we experienced that last week, as
Right.
a country, as a nation, that
Right.
they are looking for these individuals instead of telling us why they killed them.
Correct. Correct.
You
Correct.
know, and so it's hurting and it's disheartening, but change starts on a micro level. And so you're right, these conversations do need to be had. And that's the way we have them. There are people that love us. My friend, she's an ally, with I didn't need to beat her up over the head in order to get her support. We already had her support.
Right.
We
Right.
just needed understanding. So it is important for us to recognize when somebody is an ally and to support them in being an ally, and have that conversation with
Right.
them so that they can grow themselves. Now, I still encouraged her to go get educated because I feel like that's your responsibility. It's
Right.
not my responsibility to completely educate you because I had to come to an understanding of my own, you
Right.
know,
Right.
but it is my responsibility to listen. It is my responsibility to let you know that no, this is just because we love Black people, it doesn't mean that we don't love any other people. We love everybody. It's just saying that we recognize that this is happening in our communities. Our communities are suffering in every area, from
Right.
finances to health to income. I mean, you just name it, is happening. And it stems in
And
that
and, it's,
systemic racism.
and to your point of finances, when it comes to, we just have to stick to the facts.
Hmm.
Black women are the least paid. We're the
Hmm.
lowest paid.
Hmm.
And I know that because I'm in financial literacy and I teach business development. And so
Hmm.
both things I have to do the research for certain things. And
Hmm.
we're just the least paid. And
Hmm.
so, and we're the least in a lot. So that's why we're having the show today. We're speaking with Black Women Do Heal. It is not to exclude anyone, but to
No.
include everyone.
No.
And so if you could do me a favor, Cassandra, let's
Yes.
let's give some tips on how we can start having conversations, some tips on how to how to just get things together as a
Mhm.
race on our side, our responsibility, as well
Mhm.
as our other counterparts. What can we do to start healing?
Well, I think one of the things that we can do to start healing is, for one, just recognizing that, hey, this is real and it actually bothers me. It affects me. I don't escape it. G.I. Joe said, knowing is half the battle. So recognizing and knowing how you're feeling, how this affects you, not just individually, but your community at large, that is a starting point. Having the conversation with our counterparts is is twofold. One, knowing when not to have a conversation. If somebody is just really bent on being a racist, or just not open to the idea of of us being equal, you might just be wasting your breath. But when you see an opportunity to have a conversation, like I said, with my friend, with others who are actually concerned, who actually want to help and make a difference, by all means, have the conversation. If you have the opportunity to get to know somebody else of a different race, if everybody in your little bubble looks like you might want to start, branching out to have conversations with some other people, because it doesn't change the perception until they start to, sometimes maybe them getting to know you is what helps change the perception, maybe starts to plant the seed that, hey, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that this stuff affects you guys this way. um, and being passionate, but but also taking time again to just listen. Like you were giving the example of between you and your Hispanic friend, you have to listen. Yes, we have been um, treaded upon due to systemic racism, and it affects us so bad. It does not mean that our white counterparts, our Hispanic counterparts, that our other, people in this country have not had it bad. So let's not negate, let's not compare traumas in that respect, but let's just listen to each other. Because when people feel heard, they're more likely to hear, So let's make sure that we are hearing them, but that we are also communicating as well. So that's
Yeah.
where I think it starts. It just starts with us having these conversations. When you meet somebody and you're getting along, you have those conversations as they come up. Don't shy away from it. If a white woman asks you something about your hair, instead of getting offended, talk to her about it. You
Right.
know.
And that is so good you say that because um I just had to laugh when you said that because one of the things that my Hispanic friend she asked, he said, "Well, why do y'all get so offended when people ask to touch your hair?" That was one of the questions. And I was like, girl, we don't have that much time. We need a whole counseling session for that. But I truly believe that, like you said, we should have the conversation. We should be open to it instead of being offended. We should consider, just consider answering the question.
Mm-hmm.
But the hostility, before we can not answer hostile, we have to heal. And
Exactly.
so sometimes when they ask the questions, we have not healed in that area.
Mm-mm.
And so now it's like a scab is being provoked, it's being removed. And so we're
Mm-hmm.
putting toxic energy into the conversation. And it's not,
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm not speaking for everybody because, we do, every race got that one person, we
Yes.
got that one person. But
Yes.
for the vast majority of us, I like to believe that we truly would love to have a better relationship. And so, in order to do that, we have to heal individually so
Mm-hmm.
that when we do get asked the question, we're not already on the defense. Because we're
Yeah.
so, like you mentioned earlier, when our children leave the house, Lord, when my sons leave, I'm like, okay, I got to say a prayer. We got to have a
Mm-hmm.
mini fast. We got to do all this to get them back in one piece. So, but if we can heal that,
Mm-hmm.
that fear can go away. And so I really love this conversation. And there's no way we're gonna get all this information in here. I have a slew of questions, and I don't even think we've gotten to the third one. But hey, that's how it is. I love Cassandra. She's my sister. What I want to do is kind of I want to go to her website. So I'm gonna go to your website, and I'm laughing because I was like, I'm looking at all these questions I have. I'm like, ooh, we're gonna have enough time to get that one done. All right. So you guys gotta follow Black Women Do Heal. Go to social media and look for it. But I want to go to her website, which I do love, and I'm gonna just kind of flip through, and I'm gonna ask a few questions about the website, and so you guys just follow along,
Okay.
and and we're gonna get technology to be on our side.
Yes. Yes.
Yay, there we go. Here we go. All righty. Yay. I'm gonna have to start I'm gonna have to go and go over to Hollywood or something when it opens up and say, hey, hire me. I got some production experience. It's called the
Okay.
2020 pandemic. All right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So this is your website, which I love, by the way. So I'm gonna kind of flip
Okay.
through, and I want to talk about. I'm going straight for the gut. So I want to talk about this magazine. Y'all, this magazine is fire. So tell us about the Black Women Do Heal magazine.
So, Black Women Do Heal started publishing a magazine last year called Melanated Queen Quarterly Magazine. And essentially, it is a digital publication. And as it is Melanated Queen, in each issue, we highlight a woman in the community and we name her Queen of the Quarter. And so we highlight her in the magazine, but we also have different themes for each issue. Our last issue, which was our fall issue, we highlighted plus size business owners. So we wanted to talk about some of those things that matter to plus size business owners. We actually traveled to Jackson, Mississippi, and had a group interview with a bunch of wonderful entrepreneurs who, shared their stories about being plus size and being in business, the things that they've learned along the way. We had some beautiful stories from other entrepreneurs that shared their stories from different aspects, from finances to business, and healing in that area, because that's a healing thing in and of itself. A lot of times that the heavy woman gets looked at as though she doesn't necessarily care about herself, or she doesn't take care of herself, even to the extent sexually, that she's easy, and
Oh, yeah.
all these perceptions can be put on us. And you know this, working in, having worked in corporate America and just in business in general, the
Yes.
perceptions that people can put on you can affect you in business. So we wanted to have those conversations, and we did. We had a wonderful time, and it's just been a great opportunity to highlight those stories of healing, because none of those women got to be where they are without having to go through some healing processes, right? So
Right.
we have a wonderful lady in there, Miss Chelsea Bullock, who calls herself the fashion therapist, where she took her use and her
Okay.
love of fashion to help facilitate her own healing. You know, we just, again, just wonder after wonder in there, and I'm just so excited. So our winter issue, we're in publication for that right now. We are um, in editing, rather, for that right now, and it will actually be on sexual healing. So we will talk about it all, from celibacy to owning
Happiness.
your
I mean,
sexuality. You know, we are going to
so,
talk about it
and you,
all.
and you see, I'm flipping these pages because, I was trying to get to this one particular page that has some of our women in business members in it, and I think I
Yes.
skipped one or two, but this is Chef Fee. She's out of
Hmm.
Dallas, Texas, but she is
Hmm.
also a member of the Women in Business organization. And I'll tell
Yes.
you guys about the Women in Business organization toward the end. But this is an awesome magazine, and I'm gonna keep flipping until I see mine. I know I'm in here. Look, I'm in here somewhere. But no, seriously though, I love the fact that you have recipes. There's advertisement. Tell us about advertisement opportunities for anyone that's out there that would love to advertise in this magazine. How would they go about getting that done?
So if they would like to advertise with us, we ask that they contact us at blackwomendoheal@gmail.com, all spelled out. And we will find out what their budget is, let them know what our plans are, and that way they can go from there. But yes, they just need to contact us. We do have some smaller ads for up and coming entrepreneurs who may not necessarily have the resources yet. You know how it is when you're just starting business. You need to get out there and be visible, but maybe you don't have the coins yet. So we do have some spots for those up and coming entrepreneurs as well. We just want to be a part of, and that's part of what we want to do as Black Women Do Heal, is we want to make sure that we are highlighting women, because again, looking at it from a holistic standpoint, we can't talk about social injustice and civil rights and just healing of mental illness without making sure that we are helping promote our fellow sisters so that they can get their coins up as well,
Right,
because
right,
that's a
and
part of
and
healing.
right, and so I finally found one of my favorite pages in this article, in this magazine publication. My advertisement. I look, hey, if you're not gonna, how they say, if you're not gonna crow in your own pond, what kind of frog are you? So whoop, whoop, I am crowing. There's my picture, yes, and look, I'm next to my sister here. So
Mhm.
this is awesome, and so I want to encourage everyone to take out an ad. To see about getting interviewed, just get involved, because
Mhm.
we are one of the number one supporters of certain products,
Mhm.
especially in the beauty industry. Um,
Yes.
we promoting some dollars, honey. It's up in the
Yes.
billions, and it's probably up in the trillions with the makeup artists are now up and
Mhm.
coming. So I say we are some of the best supporters. If and that's one thing about us. Um,
Mhm.
and I don't, like I said, I don't mean to exclude, and just because I say it's something about us doesn't mean that we're excluding anyone else.
No,
We're
no.
gonna support you, honey. we're going to support you. And so I just like to say, if you do want to advertise and promote that, get with this magazine. The editor, from start to finish, everything was just done well. As you can see, this is quality work. I mean,
Mhm.
I think it's 84 pages.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I'm talking about, you can purchase this magazine, make a donation, and you'll have it for a while before the you'll be reading till the next release. It's because it's quarterly, right?
Yes, it is quarterly.
So
And oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say one magazine will carry you through the quarter. This thing has 84 pages in it. I have paid for some stuff now. Y'all know y'all pay for some stuff, and it's a one-page landing. I'm like, where's the rest of it? So I truly appreciate this. But go ahead, finish your thought.
Oh, just wanted to also say, to those who might be interested in advertising, we actually put your live links on your advertisement. So when people go to see your ad, they don't just see your ad, they can literally click on your ad and be taken to your website or your social media page or what have you. So that is, part of us, wanting to promote you and make it easy for people to be able to find you so that they can support you. You know how it is back in the day when we were younger, you'd have to go through heck and high water if you saw
Yeah.
something in print to maybe get in touch. You had to hold on to the paper and all that other stuff. No, we didn't want to do that at all. So you can literally click on that advertisement and go directly to the ad, go directly to their social media or to their website, whichever they gave us. So that makes it easier for people to be able to find you and support you and do business with you. So
That is awesome. And here on the screen is another one of our women in business members, Miss
mhm,
Kitty Arsenault. She is an award-winning author, and
mhm,
she's promoting her book here, Root Ready, which you can find on Amazon. And so we just
mhm.
wanted to give her a shout out. She has been
Yes,
doing some work with us with both
yes.
organizations, with the AK Legacy Foundation as well as Black Women Do Heal. So
Mhm,
what I want to ask you about now is tell us about any upcoming events. I saw something in the magazine about March 2022, but
mhm.
start with something that for this year and then lead us up into March. What do you guys have going on?
Okay. Well, we also, what we do, we have a monthly brunch, January through October, the fourth Saturday of each month at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. And we do that via Zoom. You can register on Eventbrite. You can literally search for virtual conversations over brunch, and it will pop up and register, for the event. We talk about different topics each month that, of course, are, important to Black women. And so this month we'll be recapping finances. We
Okay.
had, yes, Candy gave us a wonderful challenge to save a certain amount of money in our talks in August. So now we are coming back to the table to see where we are, and also we'll be joined again also with Pam Manuel, who Manuel, who from the Manuel Group as well. So we'll have two financial gurus here that will really help us, kind of start 2021 off right. And next month we'll be talking about sexual healing, which is in line with our release of our issue on sexual healing. So we have those events each month, and we're looking forward to that. We will be releasing our issues every quarter and gearing up for our fundraiser event where we will actually we'll be publishing our first ebook.
Yes.
So we're really excited about that, which will be all about Black women healing, stories of Black women healing. So we're really, really looking forward to that as well, and gearing up for our very first healing conference, Relinquishing the Cape, in March of 2022. So we are looking forward, and we will start promoting that in March of this year. So just excited about what's going on and looking forward to doing more in the community. So thank you so much.
No, thank you. And so don't go anywhere just yet. We have a few more things that we're going to talk to Miss Cassandra about. Like I said, we didn't even get to half of it. Um, but so what I want, my next thing before, what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you this first, and then I'll go to the next slide.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about how did Black women do here. That article was excellent. The magazine was beautiful. How did you guys transition due to the pandemic? Because a lot of times now, because it's 2021, people are
Mm-hmm.
talking about the pandemic as if it's past tense. We're still in the pandemic. We still have COVID-19 that we're dealing with. We
Mm-hmm.
still have millions of people out of work. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it's now because it's a new year. We have the vaccine on the rise. We have
Mm-hmm.
some people, whether you're going to take the vaccine or not, just the fact that it's
Mm-hmm.
there is giving the notion that we're moving forward. But
Mm-hmm.
let's not forget about 2020 as if it was ancient. And we wanted some advice. What did you guys do? How did Black women do here? I know you guys had live events planned and then boom. So what happened?
Mm-hmm.
How did you
So,
transition?
so you're right. We did. We were planning on actually doing the brunches live and in person, and we were planning a event at the the end of our run that was going to be in person as well. And so then the shutdown came, and we were in a pandemic, and it was like, oh my, what do we do? I had to clutch my invisible pearls and catch catch my breath, right? But it was like, no, this is supposed to happen. There is Zoom. And I took cues from some other, entrepreneurs I was seeing that were having, conferences and, you know, other events online. And, I said, you know what? We are going to push forward and we are going to start these brunches via Zoom. And we did. And it turned out to be a great thing. The attendance grew as we continued to have it. People started looking for them. And we just persevered by just pressing forward, even with the magazine, because our initial magazine, we had a whole photo shoot planned and everything. And then, of course, now we're in quarantine, and we can't have a photo shoot for the magazine. So we really literally reached out to the individuals that we'd scheduled to be in the magazine, updated them on what we were doing. We gave them tips for the photos they would send in, and they sent in their photos and their information, and we just made it work by putting it together. So, the tip I have for, persevering, because as you said, we are still, in a pandemic world right now, is just to keep going. Utilize the technologies that we have. Like you said, you could go to Hollywood right now
Yes,
with what you've
look,
learned.
look, give me a
Right?
contract. I am ready.
Exactly. So play around. If you have an iPhone, there is literally something on your phone called iMovie. If you need to make some videos, play around with that sucker and see what you need to do in order to make your video work, and it's made where it's kind of simple for those of us who may not be as tech savvy, you know, and play around with it until you get it, talk to a girlfriend about Zoom, or, if you have somebody that knows Zoom or Google Meet better than you do. But with the technologies that they have out there, you can continue to run your organization or your business or your solopreneur, avenue event, almost completely virtually if you should so need, or at least until we get to a place where it's safer, to be out and, around big groups of people. So that's just persevere. I have, I put together our t-shirts virtually. We ordered them virtually.
Right, right.
Yes, everything is just done virtually. And we just had to switch our mindset instead of going in person and doing these things, which I would normally do because I'm an in person kind of girl, you
I
know.
like it.
And so just having to switch that mindset that the work still has to be done. This is still important. We're going to stay as much on track with our schedule as possible. And we're just going to shift it. So it's what's the old saying? It is sticking to your goal, but being flexible about the means. So yeah, just literally change your attitude about those things. If you don't like tech and things, you don't like Facebook and social media and stuff, it's okay not to like it. But
Right.
if you're trying to run a business in 2021 or 2020, it would behoove you to step out of your comfort zone and learn at least the basics of how to use it to promote your business. So
Right.
that's what we're doing.
And that leads me to one of the things that to talk about here at the AK Legacy Foundation. What it is that we do here, we teach business development and we do financial literacy. And I find a lot of times we just don't embrace technology. It's like, oh my God, no, I gotta say something live. Oh no, like, are they gonna ask me any questions? Like, yeah, we're gonna ask questions. That's the whole purpose of it. Is for us to ask questions. And so if you're in need of resources or training, I want to ask everyone to go to aklegacyfoundation.org. There's a contact us tab. Let us know what services you're in need of. We have a Rolodex of business owners that are eager to help and to work with you. And we even have an organization. Uh, so the AK Legacy Foundation has two programs that it does. And one of the programs is Ask the Experts, of course, because that's where you guys are now. You're watching us here live on YouTube. And so we say thank you for that. The second way that we serve our community is by our Women in Business organization. Now, Women in Business is open to any woman of any race. You do not even have to be a business owner to be a member of Women in Business. But in there, we have trainings and workshops and seminars to teach women how to do certain things. You may be excellent at accounting, but don't even know how to set up a Facebook page. So we need to get you out there, like Cassandra said, get in her magazine. You have a digital product. There are so many things that are open to you. And talking with, I think it was my daughter or one of her friends, they said before they even go to a certain business, if they don't find you on like Yelp or Google review, they won't even patronize the place. If they can't get a Google review on you, they're not going. So we got to get a digital footprint. And so that's great that you guys pivoted. Look, you said, hey, we can't have our live events. We can't do business as usual. That became a literal statement, business as usual. That
Yes.
was out the window. So it was so good to see that Black Women Do Heal did pivot through the pandemic. And so I want to give a couple of announcements, and then we're going to come back and let Miss Cassandra give us some. I'm going to ask her probably one more question, and she's going to give us some closing remarks. And so don't go anywhere. So I'm going to give you guys some quick announcements. Just give me a second. I want to kind of do something fancy here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it off. But hey, I'm getting prepared for Hollywood. Like I said, hey, I'm
Okay. Okay. Oh my
getting
God.
prepared. I mean, I don't know. All I keep hearing is production. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to be doing out there, but
Mm-hmm.
hey, it's going to be some. I know some people that know some people.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
that is a great thing. Networking is networking is awesome. So what
mm-hmm.
I want to bring you guys attention to, we have a couple announcements for the AK Legacy Foundation. And like I said, here's our website. We're accepting donations, and we're going to talk about some of the work that we're doing currently in our community. And like I said, it's open to everyone. The AK Legacy Foundation is open to everyone: men, women, girls, children, boys. Bring it on. In our organization, we have the Actor Experts, and it's not just webcasts. It's also a community where you can get out and get amongst. And when I say get out, I mean virtually, because we're doing the safety stuff. We're staying safe. So we're going to connect you with either the actual resource or the person that could connect you to the resource so that you can get your business development or your financial literacy things done. We are doing some of the groundwork with making sure that women are educated, and we're doing that through our Women in Business portal. So get plugged in, check us out. We're doing fun things. And then for our Women in Business members, there is a membership organization, and we do a lot of fun things to kind of give people a wellness, a wholeness, as Cassandra talked about, the holistic, not just one area of your life. We want to make sure that your business is in order, that your spiritual awakening, whichever way that fits for you. We want to make sure that you're physically fit. We have doctors and nurses that are actually members, and so we want to also make sure that your money is right. It's hard to help anyone else if your funds aren't where they need to be. And so
Mm-hmm.
one of the things I want to bring everybody's attention to on next on the 20th, yeah, that's next week. Gosh, time is just really flying.
Yes.
We will have our other edition of Actor Experts. This is a quarterly series that we have. once a quarter we'll have our authors edition, because there are so many authors out there. And I heard Cassandra earlier mention, she used the term story, my story or your story. So everyone does have a story to tell. And so get plugged in, follow us, find out what it is that we're doing. If you would like to be featured as one of the authors on the next one, reach out to us and let us know. Kitty Arsenault, she is hosting this. She is an award-winning author, like we spoke about earlier. She does Root Ready, and she just has a connection with other authors. And so, if you would like to be featured, please let us know. Next week, we will be hearing from Angela Wheatley and from Ashante McGee. And so, tune in. So, make sure that you like, share our YouTube channel so that you don't miss anything. And so yes, I wanted to make sure I put that in there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pick on Cassandra a little bit more. You know, I always tell my guests, I said, y'all, I be having a ball asking these questions because they're like totally clueless. Like they're like, Lord, what is she gonna ask me next? The element of surprise is so much fun. All right. So we spoke earlier and we mentioned that Black women are viewed as we can take more pain, we're less paid, we're considered hostile and aggressive when we're passionate about things. And you gave us some tips on how to get past that and how to heal and how to have conversation. And you brought some awareness to our other sisters and brothers to let them know, like, hey, we're human and we have feelings. And so one of the topics that I want to talk about is we have some good news. We have our first female vice president. And like I said, we're not being political. We're just stating the facts here. Whether you're a Republican or Democrat, that's not important at the moment. We just want to celebrate the fact that there's a woman going to be in one of the top offices in this country.
Yes,
I
yes.
can't even. I know when I was a little girl, I probably wouldn't even thought about a woman president. You know, it just was, you know, that's a man job type deal. So we got some good news. So we want to
Yes.
celebrate that. And we also want to just promote, like you said, you guys are spotlighting and highlighting women in all industries across the country. So if you know of a lady that needs to be spotlighted, reach out to Black Women Do Heal. Tell us about the event that you guys had in December where you spotlighted and
Oh,
highlighted.
yes.
Yeah. So if you know someone that needs to be recognized, reach out to Cassandra, and her organization puts together something really good for, all of us can't be Kamala, I mean,
Yes,
I mean,
yes,
we're not Stacey Abrams. We just can't get,
yes.
I don't know the way my social media is set up. I don't know how many people are gonna come out for an event. I mean,
Yes,
think
yes.
about it. We can get that many people to come to an event. Okay. Anyway,
Oh my
let's come
goodness.
back. So for your ordinary, what is considered average, but in my case, extraordinary female that are doing the work, Black
Yes,
women that are putting they're doing the grassroots, they're taking
yes,
care of family, they're
mhm,
excelling in their business, and they're
yes,
doing the work. They're doing the
yes,
work. How?
yes.
Tell us about that program that you guys did for them on last month.
So yes, and we started a program that we do plan to do annually. So thank you so much, Candy. Called Queen for a Day, where we literally have a contest. We put it out there, and people can nominate someone for Queen for a Day. Our team chooses the queen, and we work once the queen is chosen and the contest has ended. We work with that queen's family to make sure that we are catering a day that is geared toward her. We want it to be very personable. So we chose a queen Trina. And we surprised her because it's a complete surprise. She doesn't know until the day of that she's being crowned. But she was crowned after having breakfast. We let her know what her day would be. We had a driver for her the entire day, so she was chauffeured around literally all day. She had a massage. From her massage, she had catered lunch at the Intercontinental Hotel here in New Orleans. She was able to get a makeover And so she had her face done, and then pictures taken in a gown, and her t-shirt, her Melanated Queen t-shirt. We also partnered with local business owners to donate things to put in her basket to help with it, so she could not only have things for that day, but also to be able to have some services, even, to promote healing, such as coaching and workouts and different things, afterwards, because we wanted to make sure we were promoting healing from all aspects, and financial, business financial coaching as well. So she had that. She had some time to rest after her photo shoot, and then she was chauffeured to dinner with her family and friends, where she also had an opportunity to see a video that was put together for her from loved ones, telling her how special she was, and she learned the person that nominated her then. So, and she got to spend the night, of course, in the hotel. So she was literally catered on the whole day. We had ladies in waiting. So she didn't have to want for anything. And we just wanted it to be a very pampered, very queen-like experience, because the reality of it is, a lot of times we are out here hustling. We're doing this work. Where most of us are givers in some respect to the word or another. And so sometimes you don't realize how appreciated what you're doing is. It can be heavy,
Yeah.
and what we wanted to do, we wanted to highlight a queen and let her know, no, you are a queen. What you're doing matters. We see you, and let's help, by giving you this special day so that you can feel special, to help promote that healing, but help you recharge and even get back out there, because okay, it's not all for naught. It's not just my family saying I love you and you're doing a great job. Somebody, recognizes that, hey, I am doing it. So thank
Right.
you.
Right.
We're excited, and we will start opening the competition, or the contest rather, for this year's Queen for 2021 in June. So we're very much looking forward to that. So yes, if you have somebody that that just they are always doing something for somebody else, and they're that everyday shero, that is our
Yeah.
girl. That is who we want. And please nominate her. And you can check out our social media pages and our website, because we will be posting the link for the contest entry in June. So thank you.
All right. So, ladies, make your mental note. If you want to nominate somebody, make sure you start working on it, start watching them, and start picking somebody. And so that's going to be awesome. So, before we go, this has been an awesome time. I mean, I don't know, it just goes so fast. It goes so fast. So what I want to kind of remind our audience is that we tip for the year of, well, since April of 2020 through now, we have been having this webcast every week. And so we thank God for the things that He has done for us and the doors He has opened, and for the support from the community. Next week, we're going to have our Authors Edition, which is our quarterly webcast. But starting February 1st, we will have Ask the Experts on first Wednesday. It will no longer be every week, because we have gotten some projects started. The AK Legacy Foundation, we're doing what we said we were going to do. We're picking up the momentum, bridging the gaps in the community, making sure that people are financially literate, making sure that businesses are developing. And so we're now getting out in the trenches and being able to work with people. So that's going to be that's going to start consuming some of the time. And then we want to make sure that we bring you guys the best, the latest and the best. And so starting in February, it'll be every first Wednesday. So we have today, and then we have next week, which is going to be our Authors Edition, which is quarterly, and you'll get notifications about that. But our actual regular Ask the Expert webcast is now going to every first Wednesday. So go to our website, look at our calendar, watch replays of some of those webcasts from 2020. I'm telling you, people were dropping. Hey, Cassandra, people were dropping nuggets here and then. If you didn't learn anything in 2020, I mean, I just don't know what we can do for you. I mean, people were giving away free stuff. I'm like, I'm not gonna call the name, but it was like this big time business coach.
Mm-hmm.
So just like 11.97 for a 3 hour. I don't even know if it was really 3 hours, probably like 45 minutes. The other time was other people.
Yes.
And he had a $7 class. I was like, boy, I was like,
Yes.
they is doing it. So
Oh my gosh.
if you didn't learn anything in 2020, and I know
Mm-hmm.
the AK Legacy Foundation, we were having people on, and they were like, yes, please, any form of getting out, even though it was virtual, people were looking for stuff to do. You know, they were like, I'm going crazy for a while. I got all this information. Let me just give it away.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had the opportunity to learn in 2020. So
Mm-hmm.
if you didn't learn anything in 2020, yeah, shame on you. But don't worry, 2021 is just going to be a power pack. We do have some, the AK Legacy Foundation do have some web classes coming up. Some are at no cost to the community, and some are our master classes. We have started our
Mm-hmm.
master classes series. They run from
Mm-hmm.
January to March, and that is sponsored by the Martin Business Solution actual company that I own. And in that, we actually teach things. So on the 23rd, we're going to be talking about nonprofit. So that was going to be my next thing for you. But on January 23rd, we're going to be teaching how to set up your nonprofit, how to properly set it up, how to apply for grants and loans. And so, yes. So one of the things I wanted to ask you, Cassandra, is being a nonprofit organization, do you find that people support your nonprofit, and not just yours, but nonprofits in general? In
Mm-hmm.
our culture, especially, we have a tendency to how is the nonprofit world working for you?
Well, I think that kind of going back to what you were saying earlier about having a digital footprint and a presence makes a difference. The more our digital footprint increased, the better that started to happen. So actually being pushed into doing everything virtually really helped us with that. Um, and so learning how to navigate that so that we are being more visible, I think it helps because that way when people need to look you up, they're seeing that we're doing stuff. They're seeing the things that we're doing, and then they know that whatever they're donating is in good hands. So it's been a little bit of a slower process, but we are starting to pick up the pace some, and we're excited about that. I just got a donation in the other day, just unexpected. So we're looking forward to not only doing that, but as well making sure that we're putting ourselves out there because that's one of the things that's healing as well is asking for help, you know,
Yes, yes.
and we have to get out of our own way, and say,
Well, I
hey,
done got out of my way. If y'all
yes,
want to
I
give a
know,
donation to the AK,
I know you have, and I'm like,
I,
yes,
you
I'm,
know,
I'm here for it.
let's think about it. You don't be asking people for money. You find a way. You ask the Lord to help you. Okay,
Mhm.
well, the Lord is sending somebody by with a donation. I mean,
Exactly. But that was for me, that was part of my just self-disclosure, part of my healing journey was in financially saying that, hey, we need your support. It was not something I wanted to do. It was because that whole thing, like you said, it's just going to work out. But God, the word says you have not because you ask not, you know.
right.
So putting ourselves out there and saying, hey, we are doing XYZ, QP&R, and we need your support. They don't know you need their support
Right. Look,
sometimes.
that's one of the scriptures I done got down in my soul. If you have not, because you ask not. Don't worry, I got that one because
Yes,
there's so
yes.
much we want to do. When you
Hmm.
start doing nonprofit work, and I'm sure you can agree with me, when you start doing nonprofit work and you start doing things in the community, you're like, oh, I want to help this person. And then you
Hmm.
start doing it, oh, I want to help. And so you want to help more than you have in your pocket. And
Yes.
so it's
Yes.
okay to ask for help. And,
Hmm.
and I believe in supporting those that are really doing it. We're not even discussing any organization that's not really doing the work. We're not even going to mention that, but we all know what we're talking about. Uh,
Yes.
Paying for nonprofit stuff and you're not even doing anything. Okay,
Mm-mm.
come back. Let me come back. We are really doing the work and we appreciate you guys. Everybody that has sown a seed, I don't care if it was $1 or $10,000.
Hmm.
Anyone, and I'm speaking that, claiming that in the name of Jesus. Claim it, girl, claim it, $10,000.
Yes, claiming it in Jesus'
Okay.
name.
So
Yes.
we if it's sharing our YouTube channel, if it's liking our post, donating whatever you can do. It's greatly appreciated because Cassandra and I know Cassandra. She has a big old heart, and she just wants to help everybody. She's just like me. If I could just scoop everybody up and just save the world, I would. But that is a job for God to do, and so
Yes.
we just got to work on our little patch of grass that we have over here, and
Yes.
we're excited about 2021. And
Yes.
Cassandra's already in 2022. I got to catch up. So put me. I want to participate in some kind of form of fashion in March 2022. Um,
Yes.
there's actually a big event coming up for us in October.
Oh,
We
yes.
our gala, our fundraiser gala, and our women business conference got delayed due to Mr. COVID. So we're gonna be back in Dallas, Texas. So all of our Dallas people, yay, we're coming out there for you. October, it will be social distancing like no other. And Chef Fee, the one that you featured in the magazine, she's actually catering the event. So
Yes.
yes, so you guys meet us in Dallas. And the gala is open to everyone. The
Oh,
gala is
yeah.
open to everyone. The fundraiser, guys, you are welcome. We're gonna have some golf for you guys. For the ladies, we will have a tea.
Hmm.
And then for the women business conference will be just for the ladies. We'll have something for the guys to do. So if you're married, bring your spouse. If you're single, be prepared to meet your spouse. Hey, who knows? So yes, so come on out, meet us in Dallas in October. So we're gonna conclude our show for today, but I want to ask Cassandra, did you have any final closing words for our listening audience?
Yes, just a few. We talked a lot today about the effects of systemic racism on us as Black women, on healing in that respect, and how things looked in that area. But I think one of the most important things is just to remember that healing is not linear. It means that you just don't go this way and now ye are healed and it's just all good. Healing doesn't look just like this. It actually looks kind of like this,
Yes.
you know? And so give yourself some grace, you know? If you are doing better at some things, if one of the things was you'd gotten to kind of a good place, with our current climate and you were feeling really good, and maybe even the events of last week really, really, got you riled up, or you're just feeling some type of way, it's okay. Own that. It's okay. It's all right. Just don't sit in it too long. Don't
Right.
allow it to consume you. And remember that, we have to look at those other avenues of healing, taking care of your mentals, taking care of your physical health, taking care of yourself spiritually, taking care of your relationships. Um, Remember to have someone that you can talk to if you need to, safe people who will guard your trust and your
Yes.
confidence,
Yes.
and lean into them, because again, as we were saying a few minutes ago, you have not oftentimes because you ask not. So if your circle does not know that you are in need of help and you don't say that you're not okay, they might see that something is off, but they won't know the depths to you not being okay. Let them know that you are not okay. Plug into other resources like our brunches, like some of the things that the AK Legacy Foundation is doing and other online events. It doesn't just have to be ours. We would love to have
Yes.
you,
Yes.
but get into a community, whether it's virtually or what have you, where you can start to express yourself. The camaraderie, the getting out of yourself to be able to communicate with others, it will do wonders. So just wanted to share that with you. Remember that you are beautiful, you are strong, and that you are important.
You are kind. You sweet. I just couldn't resist. I couldn't resist. I
Yes,
couldn't
I
resist.
know. I love that. I love that. But remember, you have all the strength. All of us put on our clothes like anybody else, one pants leg at a time, one arm at a time. And so just like that, you can do this. If there's something in your heart to do, just step out there and do it and watch God work. So that's it.
All right. Well, thank you, Miss Cassandra. And I want to thank all of our audience for tuning in and for liking and sharing. And don't forget to subscribe. Remember, we spoke about earlier pushing through the pandemic, asking
Mhm.
for help, And asking for help isn't always monetary. It may be asking for help to get the weight of a project. If you're working on a business project and you got to meet deadlines and you got all these things, reach out to
Mhm.
your network. Someone
Mhm.
may be able to make phone calls for you. Someone,
Mhm.
asking for help could look like someone running some errands for you.
Yes.
Get the help that you need. Let us heal. Let Black women heal, and let us start having those conversations so that the rest of us can heal. The rest of the world
Yes.
can heal. So I just want to thank you guys. This has been so much fun. Thank you, Cassandra. I will be looking for the next subscription of the magazine. Don't forget to let us know so we can promote. And
Yes.
we want to add as well. And so, you guys, get in the digital world. Get in it. Embrace it.
Mhm. Yes.
Uh, this is Candy Martin signing off from the AK Legacy Foundation. Thank you for tuning in to one of our projects, which is dear to us, which is Ask the Expert. If you're in need of financial literacy or business development services, go to our website, go to our contact tab, and let us know. And don't forget, when you are able, please give us a donation. We are putting it to good work. We shall see you soon. You guys have a great day. Bye bye.
Bye.